Hello and welcome, and I'm going to do a spreadsheet tutorial video, I guess. Within this, talk about how I'm creating this, which is one to give me statistics amongst the National Hockey League. What I'm going to do is insert all 31 NHL teams within these columns and get your basic win-loss record, the percentage of time their games go into a fourth period, their average goals for and against, one goal games decided in regulation. How many do they win and lose? How many games decided by multiple goals? Their wins and losses upon such. Overtime, what their win and loss record is in overtime, as well as home and road records. I've inserted two teams, Anaheim and Calgary. Anaheim at 19 wins, 22 losses, and I don't care about shootout wins and losses for this. It's all in overtime, and money line bets are all wins or loses. But Anaheim's going to overtime a lot, barely over 1/3 of the time. That's big. But they don't score many games. We can see their over/under totals are just so low. I mean, they've got 6 wins in regulation, and they're 7-7 in overtime. And notice that for a team close to 500. They're losing more than double of their games compared to their wins by multiple goals. Or Calgary, they don't go to overtime anywhere near as often, pretty much close to half. 24-16 record is very fantastic. And regulation, they got 4 wins there, but 2-goal games, they've won 17 of them, losing 8. Overtime, I'm surprised they're 3-4 with Johnny Gaudreau on their team, and they got the exact same home and road record. So how do I do this? Well, I need data. I need the scores. And I can get this right now from the internet, like a lot of things. So I just got Calgary. So I'm going to use Hockey Reference to get it. So let's go to Teams. And let's go to, say, the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm just going to do an order from divisions, going from west to east. And this is what we have. I'm going to want to go to their results, which would be schedule and results, and I can just copy and paste everything. And I want their upcoming games too, because I'm going to have to manually insert this the rest of the way. Okay, so I'll paste this in a notepad, and what I want to get rid of is a few things on here, or change rather. One is OT and one is SO. So what I'll do is I'll go edit, replace, paste this, and I'm going to change this with a 1 because I'm going to set it up so that whenever an overtime game is enabled or played, it's going to use the binary 1. And the same is true with OT. Let's make that 1 as well. So I'm going to select all of this and bring it into a spreadsheet. Well, the same one that we were running. So I got on the bottom Anaheim and Calgary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new one. And this is Vegas. And I got to go LV because that's just how I'm used to searching. When I'm thinking of Las Vegas, I'm going to think of L. So I'm going to paste it into here, and I got the data. Game played number, I don't need this column. Date, yeah, I need that. The time, I don't care about the time. The well, that indicates road game. Yeah, I care about that. Opponent, oh, definitely. Most certainly. Goals, 4 goals allowed. That's kind of important, actually. One of the most important numbers in here. And I'm going to want to center this because throughout the season I'm going to be wanting to look through this. Later I'm going to highlight their games when they win, but not for now. I'm going to show this. Do I need the wins or losses? Well, I could use it, but technically my math will tell me who wins. And this is the whether it is a shootout or a overtime game, which is inserted in 1. And technically speaking, they give me they got the wins and losses. I could just add them up in here, but I'm just going to delete all of these columns. I don't need them because I'm going to do the mathematics myself. And it's easy from this point on because I've already done the formulas. So if we go to, say, Calgary, what I have is net wins, net losses, 1 goal win, 1 goal loss, how many times they win by 2 or more, how many times they lose by 2 or more, the overtime wins, the road wins or losses, and where's my overtime losses number? I know, it's easy. That's the differential of the, yeah, it's easy. Road wins, road losses. Okay, so obviously I know if, say, you've been to overtime, say, 15 times and you got 8 wins, then the other 7. So that's where I do the calculation. So for the formulas in here, net wins is your score greater than the next? That's very easy. Is this number greater than that? If so, 1. And then the losses, is this number greater than that? So that's really, really simple. In this case, I did it on a net version. I could have done it this way, where I got false and true. So in this case here with OGW, 1 goal win, what I'm asking the question is, first, is this number equal to 0? Because it has to be a regulation game. Then I ask the question, is this number subtract this number equal to 1? We got true here. So there's a 0 here. And 6 to 5, that's 1. We have a true on this one, doing the opposite. Is this equal to 0? Yes. Okay, well, if it is this number subtract this number equal to 1? And if so, give me a 1. And then I'm just going to take the sum of it when we get to the next chart. But for 1.5, this one's just a very simple calculation. Is this number subtract this number greater than 1.5 or 1.2 or even greater than 1? And then for the OT loss, same thing. Is this number subtract that number greater than 1? And then for overtime win, is this number equal to 1? And if so, is this number greater than this number? And then at that point, then I know they have an overtime win. And then the road win and road loss, that's if this is equal to an at, and this is a win, give me that. And then same thing with the road loss, if this is equal to at, and is this number greater than that? So in this first example, we can see true. Yes, it was. And what I've done is I've copied and pasted this. I got this all the way down to row number 82. Now within such in here, I'm going to have to delete this. It's a little annoying, but and it's once I get this done for the day, it becomes very easy to navigate this the rest of the way. So I don't need these 20 break columns. And what's going to happen here is Arizona Coyotes. There's a couple more like this. That's because when I did the replace, when I replaced OT and SO, like Coyotes has got OT in it. So unfortunately it doesn't, but you know what? It doesn't. I don't care. This is like, because Coyotes, there's a couple other ones too, not just the Coyotes. Ottawa Senators, Wantawa Senators. So for OT, Minnesota Wild, Wanta Wild. I thought that was quite funny actually. So, well, anyway, so that's that. So I need to copy and paste this from one of these formulas, and that's what we're going to do now. And it's on H1. And that's going to be, I can just copy this and I know it's going to be everything because I can scroll to the left and see, got what we need. So H1 gets pasted. All the data is there. I can put this in chronological order each time. I wish I could make these boxes a little smaller in between, but regardless, I know they call themselves Las or Vegas, but I mean, technically speaking, they are Las Vegas. So to find the wins, I'm going to go equals. I'm going to go to the LV number, and I'm just going to go to the bottom to their net wins, which is right here. So 23. So the calculation again for this one is, if this is a win, if your number is greater, then give me one number than the previous number before. If not, keep it what it was as it is. So that's the calculation for that. The loss we'll do. It's this. We got this in here. So 23 and 19. Now this one here has got equals sum of. Well, let me just copy and paste this, and then put this into Notepad. Okay, that's old school stuff from before. Okay, so we look at this. What we're doing is we're taking the sum of the F to 2, which is the games in overtime. So the sum, when we look at the, with all of these ones in here, we take the sum. So now we know how many, this is the sum of how many overtimes game it is. And then we divide it by Calgary H83, the sum of the games played. So therefore what we do is I'm going to replace CGY with LV, and then go back into here, paste it in here, 19%. So for this is the average of the amount of goals that they score. So that would be column D. And we're going to get her all the way to the end of the season. And I could just copy and paste this to get the next one because it's the next column over. So now the regulation wins. This is a sum again. What we're going to do is we're going to go up in here again. And this is the 1 goal win in here. Looks like overtime I was thinking, but no, this is 1 goal win, which is 5. Now, when we look at the next few columns on here, I got the overtime goal loss. I got the 2 goal win and the 2 goal loss and the OT win next. When we look at this on here, that's what we're going to. So I can technically just copy and paste the next little bit, in fact even here as well, and then just move it over this way. And I can see here that in regulation they have 5 wins and 4 losses by 1 goal differential. They have 14 and 11 record, or they win 14 games by 2 goals or more, 11 by 2. We look at the difference between well, some other teams in here. I mean, Calgary got a similar record here, but not they're a West Coast team too, but nonetheless, I'm just getting all the stats. This is very simple. This is taking the amount of, this is C minus I minus L. So you're taking the amount of losses, because we know for Anaheim they have 22 here. So they lost 1 in regulation time by 1. They lost 14 by such, so that only remaining 1 is overtime losses. So this, subtract this, subtract this. So we'll copy and paste that. And in overtime, Las Vegas is 500. And these are very important stats. You can bet if a game's going to be a draw. So right off the bat, I'm looking at betting Anaheim games to be draws, especially when in line with other teams like this and of low scoring variety where it should be a close game. So now we're going to take the road. This is the sum of their road wins, which we can get by going in here. And this is the sum of the road wins. which is 11. I can copy and paste that because on the right hand column is the road was the next column over. So for this one, this is just another visible subtraction. I know their home record is that of 12 wins and 6 losses because I could just subtract these numbers, which is exactly what this formula is. 12 to minus 6. So what I'll end up doing is putting this down below on like column 33, 34, because I'm only going to be able to see like half the games on here. I could always do something like this and reduce the font a little bit, which I probably am going to have to. And then I can, when throughout the season, I can quickly look at the statistics as need be. And I got the totals, which is important again. The differential for when they win by 2, home road differential. But I can also look back and just see, and here I got it in bold. Okay, so this team obviously has won this game. They kind of a bit of a losing streak here, 3 of 5, but that was before a really good hot streak in here. And when a game goes on, for example, we can see in here that Calgary is 24 and 16 with 3 goals for. Well, if they happen to have a huge victory of, say, the likes of, say, 117 to 3, well, that would totally change their statistics. For they would now have 6.29 goals for. So it's automatically going to change it, and I have to do it twice for each game. So when a game goes on, say they beat Detroit 4-2, I have to go to the CGY and put 4-2, and then I go to the DET, Detroit one, and then put that 2 and 4, and for them put the 1 if it goes to overtime, and then bold the winner. A little tedious. It takes like maybe 3 or 4 minutes to do a decent card, and it doesn't really take long, and then I just go through this. Now what will take a decent amount of time, a good day, to be able just to download every single team as we see it in here, and then just put all the information in as need be. All right then, so thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.